Alright, what's happening, people? Hope you're all doing well. My name is Lewis and I am currently 3 days out from having my 6th MMA fight. I'm currently an amateur fighter in the welterweight division, and yeah, just thought I'd do a bit of a vlog going into this one. I did do a vlog going into my last fight, but I just didn't post it. So I'm really going to make sure that I decide to post this, really just talk about the process, the protocols of cutting weight, what I'm doing this far out from fighting, and talk about a bit of mentality stuff as well. So I hope you all enjoy. So I've been training MMA now since 2020, just come the end of lockdown in the UK. It's something that I always wanted to do. I was a rugby player before that since I was like 12. I'm currently 24, and I was amateur boxing since I was 13, but never really took it seriously. And I always wanted to get into MMA. I was always a fan from the old UFC days. I used to watch a bit of Pride when I was younger as well, and just thought that by the time lockdown was done, it was time to try something new. And that's what I did, and sort of fell in love with it ever since. When it comes to fighting and competing, I've been very on and off. It's been very stop-start for me, and that's for multiple different reasons, but the main one, I guess, is just being injury. Got injured back in 2024, I got injured back in 2023 and ended up getting a surgery for it in 2024, and just was never able to get a good run going with fights because of that. To add on to that, I also travelled, moved from the UK over to Australia, which is where I'm now living and competing out of. So it's been a bit of a hectic life, but this is probably going to be the first year where I really get the ball rolling, or at least I hope that's what it's going to be in terms of having an amateur MMA career. I'm not really looking to necessarily even turn professional. What I'm doing is I'm training, I'm competing just to see how good I really am. Like I said, I have never really got the ball rolling, if anything, so I'm not really sure where I am in terms of skill level, in terms of how serious I could even take this if I wanted to. And all these fights this year that I'm going to be taking on is basically just to see where that is. This will be my 6th amateur MMA fight. The last 5 have went really well, to be honest with you. Won me first, lost me second, and then won the other 3 from there. And yeah, it's been good. My last bout was last November, where I travelled from Brisbane, where I'm living now, to Perth to fight some kid. It was the first time I fought in nearly 2 years, just over 2 years, and it wasn't the best performance. I'm just glad I got in there and got the win. Basically just fought not to lose, which probably isn't the best way to go about it, but I'm hoping that I can really come into this next bout and show off a few more skills that I didn't get the chance to do last time. I don't really know too much about the kid I'm fighting this time round. I know that he's a last minute replacement, and by last minute I mean around about 2 weeks, but he had a fight about a week before he accepted this fight, so he's someone who's coming fresh off a fight. He lost his last fight to a quite strong grappler, but from what I've seen, and he doesn't have that much footage on him, there's nothing on YouTube, but I managed to sneak a peek of a few of his Instagram highlights. He looks like a bit of a striker, looks tall, rangy, strong as well, so it's not like I'm just going to be able to take him down off the first few seconds. I'm going to have to try and set these up, and I'm in for a bit of a challenge, probably one of the most, if not the most challenging fight of my career. We've got very similar experience with him being 3-1 and me being 4-1, so I'm in for a bit of a challenge, which is what I've been wanting, right? So in terms of nerves, in terms of how I'm feeling mentally about this is exactly where I've wanted to be for the past few years. This is exactly what I've been asking for. Obviously there are nerves, of course there are, but I think it just comes down to how you approach each fight and how you, I guess, take on these nerves. I think John Jones said that it was just a way for your body to prepare itself for what's happening, and I definitely agree. It's easier said than done when it comes to turning them nerves into that. But I've been pretty good so far, and I hope I continue to be good at that. I want to approach the fight in a much more exciting way than what I've done in the past, but by no means that's me being stupid going into things. I've got good boxing, I've got good groundwork, I'm a really good wrestler. The majority of my fights have been won by my groundwork, apart from my first one, but I really do think I could be doing a lot more out there when it comes to the stand-up. My last fight, I dropped my opponent with a left hook, and that was the first and probably the only engagement in the boxing that I actually done. So I know I've got the power, and I know I've got the skills on the feet to put someone away, but it's just putting it all together. Because I know he's quite long and rangy and favours his stand up, I really want to take in I've either got to be, because he's so tall, all the way in or all the way out of range. One of the mistakes I've been making in my past few fights is I've been sitting at this middle range with taller opponents, which means I've been getting hit a lot. And luckily I've got an alright chin, so so I've been able to take them a little bit more and a little bit better than what other people can. But I'm not doing myself any favours, so I'm either going to be all the way in range or all the way out of range, and really try and pick my openings, feint my way in. Feint my way in, and then when I'm in the pocket, try and land some combinations and power shots with my hands. And that's another thing I want to try and improve on. I think, again, I've got the hands, I've got the speed, I've got the power to put someone away, and I've got the skills in terms of boxing to put that together. But one of the things I've been lacking in my past few fights is putting combinations together, not just landing one punch at a time, but landing multiple shots at a time. So it's currently Monday, I'm fighting on Friday, which means weigh-ins are going to be Thursday. So the protocol here, in terms of weight cutting, I am currently water loading. So water loading essentially means, well, what it says on the tin, loading my body full of water. This is apparently it's 1.18 litres, big Stanley Cup. I'm going to try and send off 8 of these a day, so just over 8 litres of water, nearly 9 litres of water. And the idea is you keep drinking this throughout the day, and when you drink loads of water you need a piss. So when I get through all of them, I'm just going to be flushing the system out, getting used to the body, secreting all its fluids, whether it's on the toilet or whether it's through sweating. Limit my food intake, so calories are pretty low at the minute. I'm not necessarily tracking them, I've never really felt the need to track them. I sit around about 83, 84 kilos give or take outside of fight camp, and I fight 77. So I don't really have too much weight to cut when you compare me to other people, especially some of the professionals out there. I know some lightweights who fight at 70 walk around at my weight as well. Got a few lads in the gym that do that. But I'm just an amateur. I'm not looking to destroy my body totally yet. So low calories, just halving the food that I normally have, which are usually quite big portions. And I've got quite an active lifestyle. You know, I'm a personal trainer. I like to train twice a day when I can. So the weight's just been sort of dropping off me really well. So last week, got back from a training camp in Thailand, was sitting around about 83 kilos, and I woke up this morning at 80 kilos, and that is literally just through halving my portions, fucking getting a load of them downers, and just controlling my carbohydrate intake and sodium intake. If you don't know, if you're not well versed in nutrition or fitness or anything like that, the amount of sodium and the amount of carbs that you have in your body can really make a difference of how your body holds on to water. Essentially, the more sodium, the more carbs you have, give or take, the more water your body's going to hold on to. So when you see fighters or even bodybuilders and other weight class sports compete, when they get down to the weight class that they need to, it's usually through manipulation of all them three things: water, sodium and carbohydrates. I know that some of you are going to be interested in the aesthetic side of how I'm looking before the fight, and by some of you I mean me when I'm looking back and crying over how lean I was. But yeah, this is the physique 4 days out from the fight. It's Monday, fight on Friday. Looking very lean, but not too lean. I think I don't look too drawn out. I think I'm still looking good. Turn to the side there, got a bit of a side angle, and the lighting's not even too amazing here. It's semi good lighting, but yeah, looking good, not looking too drawn out. And when it comes to fight day, I want to be putting on another 3 or 4 kilos from where I am now, hopefully, so I look even more full. But yeah, I mean, I'm a personal trainer by trade. I've got to appreciate the physique that fighting does and helps you create. But yeah, this is pretty decent. So I will do one of these every day as well, just to show you just how depleted I am going to look. So take this as a first reference point. I seen someone practicing a vacuum on Instagram today, so I think they said you gotta suck in, and then what? This, and then this. Is that a vacuum? And then you sort of just, I don't fucking know. Anyways, Monday. Right, what's happening, people? It is fight day. Weighed in yesterday at 77 on the dot. That's the heaviest I've weighed in on a weigh-in day. It's right on the dot on weight, which I'm very, very happy with. I think it was probably the best weigh-in day I've had, best cut I've ever had. So I felt healthy, felt strong. Even when I was walking up doing the face-offs, look back on them videos and them photos and I look very full. And that was only after about an hour of refueling. So yeah, very, very good. It's now fight day. We're on our way to Compton, where I train out of, and then I'm going to be heading over to the venue. Yeah, and feel good. Feel very, very good. Sound a lot better. Look a lot better. Feel a lot better. Looked like a zombie yesterday and the day before, but it's all for a good cause, I guess. Yeah, and finally today, which is pretty funny, my opponent's last fight actually came out on YouTube, and it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Long, rangy, likes to use his kicks. He's pretty much a framer and a kicker. Not the best hands, very, very overextending on his boxing combinations. Don't see him throw a load of looping shots in terms of his hands, like hooks. He doesn't throw a lot of uppercuts, but he does throw knees up the middle. He's got a very good round kick on both sides, but seems to really struggle when you put him on the back foot. Every fight I've seen, he seems to be throwing leg kicks a lot. But like I said, if I put him on the back foot, he'll struggle, and that's gonna be the name of the game. He likes to take center of the cage as soon as the fight starts, and that's for a reason, right? It's so he can get his kicks off. So I'll meet him in the middle, put hands on him straight away, and then it's gonna be hard work to get on the inside. But once I get on the inside, once I do close that distance, that all the way in or all the way out methodology that I'm going to pick up, I think I'll do a lot of damage. Really do want to put on a show this time. I'm determined to actually perform when I go out there, and not just fight to win, but fight to perform, do some damage, all that good stuff. So yes, I will wrestle. Yes, there are easy paths to victory, and wrestling's definitely one of them. But I know that I'm going to have to tire him out first. I know I'm going to have to threaten the takedown, get some shots off, and then go in for the takedown properly. So yeah, it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be exciting. I am buzzing. I'm obviously nervous. Of course you're going to be nervous, but that's just the body getting ready for what's about to happen. So try not to pay it too much attention. Don't let it consume my mindset, not letting it consume my preparation. This is all very locked in for me. All right, so the next video you see is going to be of either a winner or a loser, and either way, I'm going to be very happy that I put a performance on. So stay tuned. What's happening, guys? It is currently 5 days post-fight. We got the W, we got the win. Very, very happy about that. Very proud of my performance. There's loads of positives to take away from it, but there's also a load of work-ons that we need to talk about, and I'll get into that in a little bit. The day the fight rolled around, I had a really good night's sleep the night before. I think the extra bit of food and water definitely helped. I managed to get back up to 83 kilos, so 6 kilos from what I weighed in, which I was very, very happy about. I think that's probably the best weigh-in I've done to date. Felt very fresh, felt very full. When I was fighting, I felt huge compared to the other kid. So they're all really, really good positives to take away from the preparation side of things. When it came to the nerves,
Didn't feel nervous going into the venue, but then when we got there, started feeling a few of the nerves kick in, but I know that it's just my body getting ready for it, so there wasn't too much drama there. Production was really good. Proving Grounds organisation is a bit of a sister company to Eternal, which is Australia's leading MMA organisation. So in terms of where we're warmed up, in terms of the communication between you and the refs beforehand, the camera quality, the link quality, and how people could watch it, and the way that everything was set up around the cage was really, really good. So probably the best I've done since my first fight. So that was really cool to be a part of. When I was warming up in the back, just before I went out, I'd done a few rounds on the pads, and I threw a right cross. And when I threw it, I just felt my shoulder go a little bit. I don't know what happened, but I didn't want to speak it into existence, so I sort of ignored it. Unfortunately, that came back to bite me in the arse a little bit more of the ways into the fight, which I'll talk a little bit about later. But as soon as I started walking out, as soon as the music kicked in, I was feeling really, really good. Just had this confidence like flow out of me. Got into the cage, and then the first round started. In terms of how the fight went, it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. The kid had no footage on him before the day of the fight. He was 3-1. I knew that he'd lost his last fight to a pretty good wrestler, but there was no footage on him. However, his last fight before me actually got posted to YouTube the day of my fight. So when I woke up, I managed to watch that fight about 3 times over, and I knew exactly what his strengths and weaknesses were going to be. I knew that in every single round that he'd done in that fight, the first strike that he threw was a leg kick. And as soon as the first round started, he came out and threw a leg kick, and I done the most beautiful Muay Thai check you've ever seen in your life, which I was very, very proud of. And then straight off the back of that, he threw a 1-2 that I managed to slip and then shoot into a takedown. And the story of the fight was very consistent. It was very much me, big brother, and I very much bullied him and used all my strengths pretty well. Managed to get him up against the cage, land a few glancing shots, and then take him down in nearly every single round. Now that, for better or worse, you know, you can that's up for debate, because I am a very safe fighter, and this is one of the things I really wanted to try and work on in this fight, was be a little bit more exciting, use my boxing a little bit more, which I did in some ways, but unfortunately not to the extent that I really wanted to. Every single round was very much me coming out, crashing the range, bullying him against the cage, and he didn't really have an answer for that. And it's one of those things that I can look back now and say, oh, I should have done this, I could have done that, I would have done that. But in the moment, you take the path of least resistance, and he just didn't have an answer. He couldn't get me off him. And really, that's on him. He should have had a lot more tools in his bag to try and get off the cage. There was one time he pulled guard and threatened a Kimura, which just, I knew it wasn't on. I managed to get out of it quite well, and then I just controlled him on the floor from there. He was opening his guard when I was holding him down, but wasn't really trying to press his feet on my hips and push me away. He just really had no answer for trying to get up. So maybe that's on him, and yeah, maybe I did play it a little bit too safe, but at the end of the day, I got the win. So there's always next time. The negatives to take away, obviously we've already talked about me being a little bit too safe, playing to my strengths a little bit too much, bullying him against the cage stalling, I guess you could call it. But one thing I really want to try and improve on is my ground and pound, because I'm getting to really good positions on the floor, and I know that my top pressure is really good, and I'm pretty switched on when people are trying to set up submissions or trying to get some space as well. So one thing I could really start to do and improve upon is my ground and pound, and I suppose that will help when it comes to being a little bit more entertaining as well, because I'll be doing damage. So there's a few times in the fight where I could have postured up and landed some good ground and pound, or I could have stood up in his guard and landed ground and pound, but I was, I guess, worried that it would give him too much space and he would be able to stand up and I'd be back to square one. Again, it comes from experience and it comes from practice as well. So one of the things I really need to work on in the gym is just that, working on the ground and pound, working on posturing up, working on standing up out of guard and landing damage. There was a moment in the first or second round, right at the end, where I did posture up in his full guard and I landed some good strikes, and I could see on his face when I did land them that he was a bit shocked from it, a bit rocked from it. So I know I can do it. And when it comes to my stand-up, really just trying to feel comfortable in the kickboxing range. When I am in a boxing range, I feel very comfortable. but it's bridging that gap between the kicking and the boxing that I need to get good at trying to close, and close in a decent way. At the minute, I really just try and crash the range. I'll feint an overhand and shoot for a takedown, or I'll land that overhand as well, and that is effective up until this point. But there was one time actually in the last round where I'd done that and he timed a really good knee, and people say that it hit, but I didn't really feel it. So I don't know if it hit me in the face or if it hit me in the chest. My chest was a little bit sore the day after, so I might have been that. But if that was anyone better, then and the timing was just a little bit better as well, I could have been in very big trouble when it came to that knee. So really just trying to work on using some boxing to get into using my punches to get into that boxing range, and then either feinting for a takedown, coming back up with strikes, or landing some strikes and then going for a takedown. They're the two things, or three things should I say, that I really need to work on. And that's pretty much it. Got the win. Didn't really celebrate after. I had this huge adrenaline dump post-fight and I felt like complete shit. I had to wait about 20 minutes in the change rooms, get a bit of sugar down me, get a bit of water down me, just to try and alleviate that. I didn't feel tired at all during the fight, but straight after it ended, I just felt this huge wave of shit. So yeah, I didn't really celebrate after. Had to drive home and I had work the next day, so I had to get straight into there, it was a big mistake going into work the next day. I felt like a complete zombie, but we've got to do what we got to do. And these past few days I've just been recovering, nursing this injury a little bit, doing a little bit of rehab, and eating a fuckload because I can't really train properly. I've just been really, really hungry. It's something that happens to me every time. If I'm not training, then I'll just eat and eat and eat, which is usually the opposite of what you think. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. Hoping to get back into training next week when this is a little bit better. And for the rest of this year, I'm thinking 3 or 4 more fights if I'm lucky. And just looking to build off these past 2 wins within the past 4 months. And just become a better fighter, and hopefully that's what's going to be the case. So hope you all enjoyed these little vlogs. I'm going to try and do one every fight, maybe try and get a bit more active on this YouTube, which I know I've tried doing before, but it's just one of those consistency things. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed that. I'll see you later.